when people see this, they're going to say, well, he really wasn't a nice guy. He may have been a tyrant. Well, that's because you never won anything. I wanted to win, but I wanted them to win and be a part of that as well. Look, I'm only doing this because it is who I am. That's the way I played the game. That was my mentality. And if you don't want to play that way, then don't play that way. Break. I'm really tired of this notion that Russell Westbrook is being unappreciated. The man has been in the league since 2008. And since that time, he's been on some really, really good teams, championship teams. It's like people want to ignore the fact that he and KD, but we're mainly speaking of Russ, had a 3-1 lead on the 73 Mile Warriors back in 2016. Yeah, they were young, but in 2012, they were in the NBA Finals, and they never got back after that. They took the necessary steps for a young team. The first year with Russ and KD, they were a really bad team. The first year the team was in Oklahoma City, which was Russell Westbrook's rookie year. Very next year, they draft James Harden, and in his rookie year, they made it to the playoffs. I think Ibaka was on that team as well. And they gave the championship Lakers, the defending champion Lakers, all they could handle in the first round. Take them to 6 games. They give the Lakers all they can handle. They lose in 6. Everybody's like, okay, here come the Thunder. Young team, up and coming. They just took the champs to almost took the champs to the limit. But then the very next year, they make it to the Western Conference Finals. And they get trashed by Dallas. They lose 4-1. Okay, that's the next step right there. They're in the Western Conference Finals. And then the year after that, they're in the NBA Finals, 2012. And they lose. Okay, LeBron was coming off the most humiliating season of his career against Dallas in the NBA Finals. We didn't expect OKC to win that series. But then after that, James Harden leaves. And you're thinking, okay, they're still going to be good. They're still going to be a good team, the Thunder. And they were, but they never got back to the NBA Finals. They never completed those steps. Russell Westbrook was a part of that team. People in the beginning always marveled at his stats, his accomplishments. We talked about Russ's stats because that's where he was at the time. When he had those incredible stats, the first year of the triple-double in 2016, after KD left, 2016, 2017, it was great because I'd never seen it happen. A lot of you never seen it happen. Oscar Robertson was the last person to do it, and that was way back when. He was the last person to do it. So when Russ did it, we like, damn. This man just averaged a triple-double on the season, and he won MVP as a 6th seed. But nobody expected the Thunder to go to the NBA Finals. And they did, and they lost in the first round to the Rockets. And then Russ came back the very next year. He had, and this is 2017, 2018, he had Paul George, he had Melo, he still had Steven Adams, I believe Schroeder, I think Dennis Schroeder, I'm not too positive on that, but he had great players. And I'm not saying Carmelo was what he was with the Knicks, but PG was a top MVP candidate. He had PG, he had Steven Adams, he had those guys. And they lose to a rookie in Donovan Mitchell in the Utah Jazz in 6 games. And Russ averaged another triple-double. So then the very next year, what happens? Carmelo's gone, but PG's there. They're better than they were the year before. And this is when Paul George was like top 5, top 3 MVP in the MVP conversation. And they get sent home in 5 by Damian Lillard. The shorthanded Blazers, who no one saw coming because they had just lost, I think it was Nurkic, towards ACL. So everybody wrote Portland off. And We know Portland went on to the NBA Western Conference Finals. But the point is, when you do what Russ has done in his career, 3 straight seasons of a triple-double, and this year he's going to average a triple-double no matter what happens, it's solidified. There comes a time where you graduate from just being a stats guy, a guy that do those things and everybody's just amazed by it. We get used to it. We know Russ can do that. So where's this narrative coming that he's not being appreciated? Nobody appreciates Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has had great teammates. He's been on great teams. They were up 3-1 on a 73-win team who they got swept by in the regular season. And it wasn't all Russ. It was KD as well that was part of blowing that lead. But they were up 3-1. Russell Westbrook is a great enough player to where we say, okay, where is the chip? That's the whole point of this. We know what you can do on the court. We know you can put up stats. We know you can average a triple-double. Where's the ring? That's what you need now. That's why people are just saying whatever at his accomplishments now, his individual accomplishments, because he doesn't have the chip to back it up. The old Patriots, the old school Patriots, because of what the Patriots became, winning those 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, anything less than a championship appearance, a Super Bowl appearance after that is a bust. The Patriots can go 14-2. The Lions could go 13-3. If the Lions made it to the divisional round and lost, and the Patriots made it to the AFC Championship game and lost, the Lions had the better season, because we're not accustomed to the Lions going 13-3. But the Patriots, it's Super Bowl or bust, because that's the mark they set. You don't expect anything less than a championship. We don't care if Brady throws 50 touchdowns and win the MVP. You are above that now. And that's the same thing with Russ. It seems like everybody wants the LeBron James attention when it comes to the basketball stuff, of course. Everybody wants that attention, but nobody wants that criticism. And they're not getting that criticism. People like Russ, people like KD, they don't get the LeBron James criticism. Russell Westbrook is a great player. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes, duh. But he's not a champion. Of course he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But he's not a champion, and he should be a champion. He's had championship opportunities. This is not a Calvin Johnson in Detroit. I know I keep going to football. It's not a Calvin Johnson in Detroit type situation where he just never really had the weapons around him to compete for a title. Or what example can I use in basketball? DeMarcus Cousins in Sacramento before the injury type situation. That team was never going to win the championship. Russ has had chances to win championships, and everybody want to now all of a sudden create this narrative like, oh, Russell Westbrook is being so unappreciated. No, he's not. Russ is appreciated for what he's done. You went to Houston. You're the same dude who was talking about, oh, y'all better double me. Down 30 with like 2 minutes to go in the closeout game 5 against the Lakers. Really double you? You talking about doubling you? You down 30? Nobody cares, bro. You went like 4 for 15 in that game with 10 points. Shoot all you want. You probably the reason that y'all were down 30. Let him shoot. He's a lead leader in assists, and Bradley Beal is the lead leader in scoring, but yet they are fighting for a play-in spot. But Russ is unappreciated. Russ is unappreciated, but he's in the Eastern Conference and can't even be a top 18. And then that takes us to Scotty Brooks. Last night, this man said that Russell Westbrook was the second best point guard. Not today, not last year, not in the last 2 years. This man said that Russell Westbrook was the second greatest point guard in NBA history behind Magic. Oh my God. I do not care if y'all try and say, oh, he's just talking about straight up play. No, you cannot separate the two. You cannot separate the straight talent on court from the accomplishments. There's a point guard by the name of Stephen Curry. You may have heard of him. He's still in the league today. How in the hell is Russell Westbrook better than Stephen Curry? when Steph has been to the finals this many times in a row. 5 consecutive. You know what consecutive means? One right after the other. 5 times in a row, won this many. And if things had been a little different, he very well have 5. And you telling me that Russ is better than him when Steph was on the team that was down 1-3 to Russ's team and came back to win? Steph, who has a higher finals average, points average than Kobe, D Wade, you telling me that Russell Westbrook all time is a greater point guard than that guy? Back-to-back MVP. Unanimous MVP the second time. Russ is a Hall of Famer. He's an all-time great. When you tell the story of the NBA, in a way, you cannot tell that story without mentioning Russell Westbrook's name because of the triple doubles. Because Oscar averaged it way back when. I keep saying way back when because I don't remember the exact year. And then it didn't happen again until Russ. And now he's done it 4 times in 5 years. He's not the greatest, second greatest point guard ever. I don't have to say other names who I think are better. I can just say the name that's currently playing in the league today. Steph Curry. And then there's Chris Paul. I'll be the first to admit I was 100% wrong about the Phoenix Suns. I didn't even think they would make the playoffs. I said, no, New Orleans is going to be much better. You still have your Denver, you still have your Clippers, your Lakers, Utah, Portland. Let's just name the teams. Warriors. We thought at the time that Clay would be back, but he got hurt again. Then you have the Suns. You have, did I say the Pelicans already? But the point is, I didn't think they were going to get in. I thought they would just miss out, and they are fighting for the 1 seed. Now that Chris Paul's there, they followed up on 8-0 in the bubble in the seeding games, going 8-0 all the way to now 46-19, and they're just a half game back of Utah for the best record in the league. Chris Paul is the common denominator. Don't forget what Chris Paul did last year in Oklahoma City. He took a team that I was like, okay, they're not going to make the playoffs. 2 years in a row, I doubted that the Thunder would make Chris Paul would make the playoffs. And he came that close to winning in the first round against Russ and Harden. That close. Because I didn't think he could be that much of a difference maker anymore. And now, the Suns are one of the best teams in the NBA. How far they're going to get in the playoffs, I don't know yet. I mean, we're going to do a video on that. Of course, we're going to do our playoff predictions. Cheap plug. Back to the point. Russell Westbrook is dynamic. He's explosive. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. Everybody talk about, oh, he plays with heart. He does. He plays with all of those things. Russell Westbrook does all of those things. But don't act like this guy ain't the reason that his teams have come up short. They're now 5 games under 500. They were 13 games under 500. They have the league leading scorer in Bradley Beal and the league leading assist man in Russell Westbrook. And they are struggling to get in the playoffs in the East. They're currently 10th. And people want to say that this man is underappreciated. How in the hell is Russell Westbrook being underappreciated when all we've done his entire career was appreciate what he's done? Okay, can you win a ring now? I'm just saying. Unappreciated? No, nobody's underappreciating Russell Westbrook. Stop reaching. Russ is a great player. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. One of the greatest point guards, or guards, whatever you want to call him, in the history of the league, but he's not underappreciated. Russ is in the East. I keep saying it because it's true. He's in the East and he's struggling to even get in the playoffs. They're not even in the playoffs. They're in the play-ins, which is stupid in itself. I didn't even look at what LeBron James said. I did hear the quotes, but I didn't see the entire interview. The play-ins are stupid, and people should be fired who came up with that because that's dumb. You got to tell you, I'm really off the rails now. You got 30 teams. 16 make the playoffs. That's over half. And now you want to bring in more? You want to give 10 seeds an opportunity at the playoffs when there's 15 in one conference? Yeah, this is dumb. It's dumb. You're awarding mediocrity. This is the NBA. These are grown men. Stop giving them participation awards. They had an opportunity just like everyone else. 15 teams in each conference, and now you want to say if you 10 through 9, you have a chance at the play-ins. You have a chance to take away the 7 and 8 seed that those teams have earned. When those teams themselves are not even that much above 500. Or not at all. In conclusion, Russ is not underappreciated. Russell Westbrook is a great player. Subscribe to my channel. Hear me out.